Radiant greetings to the relentless heart that still beats beneath pressure that would have crushed lesser souls. The kind of greeting reserved only for those rare individuals who walk into storms as if they were stepping onto their rightful stage. The kind of person who hears the world whisper, "You cannot," and answers with a calm, steady breath that says, "Watch me." This moment is for you because you are not here by accident. You are here because something inside you refused to die even when everything tried to bury it, and the fire within you has dragged you forward to hear these words. They spent months building a trap. They whispered in corners, they calculated, they predicted, they planned long nights and longer schemes. They crafted illusions, they set up everything they thought would break you. They laid down shadows to hide the truth. They convinced themselves you would fall as expected. They crafted a cage shaped perfectly for the version of you they believed in, the old version, the weaker version, the one they assumed still existed. But when you walked in, you did not tremble, you did not collapse, you did not run. You smiled that quiet, unstoppable smile, and in that moment the trap they built became the moment they lost control. Because nothing terrifies those who doubt you more than seeing you unshaken inside the very place they designed to destroy you. They waited for your fear. They waited for your hesitation. They waited for cracks in your voice and cracks in your spirit. But all they found was someone who had already faced deeper darkness, someone who had already endured the kind of weight that turns a person either into rubble or into an unmovable force. You didn't walk into their trap unprepared. You walked in forged by every challenge that came before you, and the trap was never strong enough to hold someone who already learned how to break through much bigger walls. They laid out the bait, hoping your hunger for validation or comfort or easy paths would lure you in. They thought you would reach blindly. They thought you would bite down without thinking. But what they forgot is that you have learned the taste of your own resilience. You have learned how to separate what nourishes your future from what poisons your peace. So you took their bait, not out of ignorance but out of understanding. You ate it and spit out their bones, leaving nothing behind but a reminder that you are not someone who can be manipulated by shadows wearing masks. They underestimated the intelligence in your silence, the patience in your movement, the power in your calm. There are people in this world who work harder on holding you down than they work on lifting themselves up. They create obstacles, not because you are weak, but because they fear what you become when you rise. And every time they set a trap, they reveal more about themselves than about you. They reveal their limitations, their insecurities, their fear that you might become something they can no longer predict, something they can no longer control. And when you walk confidently through their barriers, it forces them to confront an uncomfortable truth. They were never truly fighting your past. They were fighting the version of you they feared you would grow into. Let the world watch how you evolve. Let them see how you stand, even when your knees shake. Let them see how you move forward, even when every step hurts. Because the power is not in appearing invincible. The power is in choosing to rise again when you have every reason not to. That is where your strength lives. That is where your identity forms. In the quiet moments when you remind yourself that no trap, no scheme, no illusion is stronger than the fire carved through persistence, discipline, and self-belief. There will always be traps constructed by doubt, by jealousy, by fear, by those who cannot build. So they prefer to break. But darkness is something you no longer fear. Darkness is something you learn to see through, because you discovered that once your inner world becomes unshakably bright, no outer shadow can drown you. You became your own torch, your own shield, your own force, and the world cannot remove what they did not give you. Your strength is yours because you earned it piece by piece, moment by moment. battle by battle. When you walked into their traps smiling, it wasn't arrogance, it was awareness. Awareness that sometimes stepping into the place designed to stop you is the only way to prove that nothing designed against you can defeat what is designed within you. Your purpose is not fragile. Your mission is not temporary. Your energy is not accidental. Your path is not dependent on someone else's permission. You are moving because you are meant to move. You are rising because you were built to rise, and you are overcoming, not because it is easy, but because your spirit refuses anything less. Your journey is not for those faint-hearted spectators waiting eagerly to see you fall. Your journey is for the part of you that has been clawing toward the light for years, the version of you that endured nights of silence when no one knew what you were fighting. The version of you that stayed up searching for answers, searching for strength, searching for direction. The version of you that decided to keep going. Even when nothing made sense, that is who you honor every time you rise. That is who you carry with you every time you step into a challenge and smile. They wanted your defeat, but what they created instead was your awakening. They wanted your fear, but what they witnessed was your evolution. They wanted your weakness, but you transformed the pressure into a foundation. You now stand on proudly. You owe no explanation for your resilience. Your survival is your statement. Your progress is your reply. Your existence in the face of every attempt to diminish you is already the victory they never wanted you to have. Every trap becomes a stepping stone when the soul walking through it refuses to break. Every barrier becomes a lesson when the mind facing air refuses to surrender. Every betrayal becomes a sharpened instinct. Every lie becomes a refined perception. Every loss becomes a deeper wisdom, and every moment they tried to bury you became the soil from which you grew. Unstoppable. You are not done, not even close. Your story is only beginning, and the world will see chapters from you that they never expected, because you are no longer built from the fragile hopes of yesterday. You are constructed from the battles you survived, the storms you endured, the nights you conquered, and the traps you walked through with a smile. And now you rise, not quietly, but unmistakably, not timidly, but with intention, not fearfully, but with certainty. Their trap was not your ending. It was your ignition. Their plans were not your downfall. They were your awakening. And every step forward from this moment is a reminder that you are stronger than what tried to break you, wiser than what tried to deceive you, and more powerful than anything built against you, because you are the force that turns their schemes into your victories, their bait into your nourishment, their doubt into your ascent. You walk now with a different presence, the presence of someone who has seen the darkest corners of human intention and still chooses to stand tall, the presence of someone who no longer needs approval to move, the presence of someone who writes their own destiny instead of waiting for others to define it for them, the presence of someone who knows that being underestimated is not an insult. It is an advantage, and you have mastered the art of turning that advantage into momentum. Carry this fire forward. Let it burn through. Hesitation. Let it melt away. The fear of being misunderstood. Let it illuminate every step you take when the world expects you to fall, and let it remind you that you were never meant to blend into the background. You were meant to rise through every design meant to restrain you. You were meant to walk boldly into the traps and leave as someone unshaken, unbroken, unclaimed by defeat. You came not to survive their plans, you came to transform them, and you did. You walked in, smiled, and made it theirs. You turned every calculated moment into your own narrative. You converted every attempt to limit you into fuel that expands you. You took the bait, not as a victim, but as a strategist. And when you spit out their bones, you reminded the world that your spirit cannot be swallowed. Your will cannot be bent, and your destiny cannot be rewritten by hands that were never strong enough to carry what you carry. This is your rise. This is your turning point. This is your moment to stand at the center of everything that once tried to break you and say with unwavering silence that nothing built against you has ever won. Nothing built against you ever will. And the world now watches, not because they doubt you, but because deep down they know they were never prepared for your transformation. You have become the storm that they feared the light. They cannot dim the strength they cannot measure and the force they can no longer predict. This is you, stepping into who you were, always meant to be, unshaken, untamed, undeniable. You stand now in the aftermath of every doubt they ever placed on your shoulders, and yet you do not look exhausted. You do not look defeated. You do not look shaken. Instead, you look like someone who finally understands the depth of their own strength, someone who has discovered that every challenge was not a barrier, but a mirror, reflecting what you were always capable of, but never allowed yourself to see until now. And in this new clarity, you realize that the people who set traps for you were never your true opposition. Your real battle was always with the limits you once believed about yourself, limits that shattered the moment you walked into their plans and walked out, transformed. They thought the weight of their intentions would collapse your will, but you learned how to stand beneath pressures that would flatten most souls. You learned that pressure is not punishment. Pressure is polishing, and every ounce of heaviness they placed upon your path carved you sharper, more focused, more awake. You learned that every attempt to hold you back taught you how to climb without footholds, how to breathe without reassurance, how to advance without applause. They were unknowingly training the very power they hoped you wouldn't discover within yourself. Now you move with a calm determination that unsettles the world around you, because people expect loudness from strength. They expect fury. They expect noise. But the strongest individuals are often the quiet ones, not because they lack emotion, but because they have mastered it, mastered the storms inside them, mastered the chaos, mastered the doubt, mastered the uncertainty. You have become someone who does not need to announce their comeback because your presence alone tells the story. Your resilience speaks louder than any declaration ever could. There will be moments ahead where you will feel echoes of the past, where shadows of old traps may try to reach for you again. But this time, you are different. You are awake. You are aware. You are strengthened by experience and guided by wisdom, gained from walking through darkness that once frightened you, but now empowers you. You will recognize the signs long before they appear. You will see the bait before it is even laid. You will sense the intention behind smiles that do not match the eyes. And you will walk forward, protected not by walls but by understanding. Your past has become your armor, not in a hardened way, but in a wise way. You no longer rush into situations seeking approval or validation, because you have learned that the people who matter do not need you to shrink, and the people who want you to shrink do not matter. You no longer chase after doors that close because you have outgrown the spaces behind them, and you no longer fear the unknown because you understand that everything unfamiliar is simply a future waiting for your arrival. What once wounded you now strengthens you. What once confused you now guides you. What once tried to silence you now amplifies you. The traps they built were supposed to be endings, but they became beginnings because every time the world tried to stop you, it accidentally shaped you into someone too resilient to be contained by the plans of others. They created barriers, but you turned them into paths. They created illusions, but you saw through them. They created pressure, but you turned it into power. Take a moment now to acknowledge how far you have come, not with pride that screams, but with pride that breathes, a steady quiet. Pride that says you endured, you learned, you transformed, you rose, not because someone rescued you, but because you taught yourself how to rise. You pulled yourself from places that tried to bury you, and you walked forward carrying nothing but determination and the memory of who you promised yourself you would become. You owe it to yourself now to walk with the certainty you have earned. You owe it to yourself to let your past be a reference, not a residence. You owe it to yourself to expand into the future without apology. Because your growth is not an accident, it is not a coincidence, it is the direct result of your courage, your perseverance, your refusal to be defined by harm designed by others. And as you continue beyond this moment, people will watch you with new eyes, some with admiration, some with confusion, some with envy, and some with silent fear, because they will wonder how you rebuilt yourself when everything around you expected you to fall. They will wonder how you kept going when they thought you would stop. They will wonder how the person they once underestimated became the person they now cannot ignore. You will become a reminder to them that the human spirit, when committed to rising, is impossible to suppress. You do not need to prove anything anymore. Your existence is the proof. Your resilience is the proof. Your progress is the proof. Your calm confidence is the proof. And the more you move forward with strength, the more their questions will grow. Their disbelief will deepen. Their assumptions will crumble. Because your journey defies everything they predicted, and you are not slowing down. You are just beginning. You are stepping into a chapter governed not by fear, but by intention, not by hesitation, but by conviction, not by survival, but by expansion. You are no longer fighting for space. You are creating it. You are no longer waiting for the right moment. You are becoming it. You are no longer shaped by what was done to you. You are shaped by who you decided to be after everything tried to limit you. This new version of you does not walk with heaviness. This version walks with power, a power earned in silence, earned in struggle, earned in nights where you held yourself together piece by piece when no one else even knew you were breaking. And it is that power, not luck, not chance, not coincidence, that will carry you into the life you were always meant to build, a life where your strength is not questioned, but honored, where your capacity is not doubted, but respected, where your spirit is not trapped by the expectations of others, but liberated by the truth of who you have become. And so continue forward with the confidence of someone who has seen what lies behind the masks of fear. Continue forward, knowing that every step you take is no longer a reaction to the past, but a declaration of your future. Continue forward because the world needs the version of you who is no longer shrinking, the version who is no longer hiding, the version who can turn every attempt to stop you into fuel and every attempt to limit you into clarity. You have become the storm they thought would swallow you. You have become the fire they thought would burn out. You have become the strength they thought would collapse you. You have become the story they never expected to unfold. And now the world must adapt to the truth of who you are, because you are no longer walking into traps. You are walking into destiny, and destiny does not fear darkness. It transforms it. You stand now on a new threshold, one built not by chance, but by the depth of your endurance, and the countless moments where you refused to collapse, even when everything in you felt heavy. You stand here because you learned that the world does not always offer gentle hands and supportive echoes. Sometimes it offers silence, sometimes it offers resistance, and sometimes it offers traps carved from the doubts of others. Yet every single time you are met with adversity, you rose, you expanded, you adapted, You reshaped yourself into someone capable of moving beyond every boundary that once felt immovable. There is a rare kind of strength inside you that even you did not fully understand until life forced you to uncover it. A strength that reveals itself only when everything familiar falls apart. A strength that does not come from comfort, but from surviving the uncomfortable. A strength that does not come from ease, but from conquering the difficult. And now that this strength has awakened within you, it cannot be undone. It cannot be dimmed. It cannot be taken away because it belongs to you, completely shaped by your experiences and sculpted by your choices. As you walk forward, you will notice how differently you move. Now, how differently you think, how differently you breathe. You no longer rush. You no longer chase after people who do not value your presence. You no longer bend yourself in hope of fitting into spaces that were never meant to hold you. You walk with purpose, and when a door closes, you do not panic because you finally understand that some doors are not meant to open for you, not because you are unworthy, but because your future is too vast to be contained by narrow frames built by smaller visions. People who once underestimated you will begin to watch you, not with the same dismissiveness, but with a quiet and uneasy respect, because they will sense something has changed. They may not understand it, but they will feel it. The way your presence steadies a room, the way your silence carries more weight than their noise, the way you no longer react out of fear, but respond out of wisdom. They will sense that you have reached a place within yourself where their opinions no longer define your direction. And once a person reaches that place, they become impossible to control and impossible to diminish. You are learning now that the world does not always need to understand you for you to continue rising. Your purpose does not need validation. Your vision does not require applause. Your progress does not rely on agreement. You are guided by an internal compass that is sharper than ever, a compass that has been shaped by darkness, but points toward light, a compass that leads you not where others think you should go, but where your spirit knows you belong. And with this clarity comes a peace that cannot be fabricated, a peace that does not depend on circumstances, a peace that remains steady even when the world becomes loud, because you finally trust yourself. You trust your ability to discern, your ability to choose, your ability to overcome. You trust your own voice more than the noise around you, and that trust becomes your anchor, your strength, your foundation, your quiet, unbreakable center. There will be days ahead when old memories rise, whispers of moments when you felt lost or powerless, but those memories no longer hold the ability to weaken you. Instead, they remind you of how far you have come. They remind you of the person you once were and the person you fought to become. They remind you that the version of you standing here today was formed through perseverance and shaped through truth, and that every pain you carried eventually evolved into wisdom, every hardship into courage, every doubt into direction. You no longer move with desperation, you move with intention. You no longer seek permission to exist. You claim your space simply by being you. No longer hide the depth of your strength, you allow it. Ah, my beautiful alpha spirit, broken audience, look at you wide-eyed and eager. You're here for the truth, aren't you? The raw, unfiltered truth that makes your soul squirm and your heartbeat race. Good. I've got just what you need. You came looking for the hard reality, the kind that most people are too weak to face. But not you. No, you're different. You're one of the few who are still standing, still breathing, still fighting. You're the one who's ready to embrace the cold, hard fact that this world is not kind. It's brutal. It's unforgiving. And the people who try to break you, they will do anything to drag you down, to make you feel small, to make you feel less than. But let me tell you something. They tried to weaponize attention to make you jealous, but it backfired. It didn't work. Not on you. Not on someone like you. And that's where they went wrong. You see, there's a game being played here. A game that's been designed to deceive, to manipulate, to control. And it's all based on something you've been conditioned to crave. Attention, approval, validation. They've convinced you that you need them, that you need to be seen, to be admired, to be wanted. It's a lie that has been fed to you since the moment you were born. Society tells you that if you're not the center of attention, if you're not getting likes and followers, if you're not constantly being showered with praise, then you are nothing. You're worthless. And they weaponized that lie, didn't they? They took something so pure, so natural, and they twisted it into a weapon to control you, to make you feel inferior, to make you doubt your worth. But here's the twist, the funny thing. They thought they could break you. They thought they could tear you down with their carefully crafted images, their fake smiles, their filtered lives. They thought they could make you jealous. But what they didn't count on was the power of your spirit. Your spirit is untouchable. Your soul is a fire that can never be extinguished. You were born with something that they can't even begin to comprehend. You were born with the ability to see through their lies, to recognize the game they're playing. They thought that by putting you in the spotlight, by giving you a glimpse of the success and admiration they claimed to have, you would fall in line, that you would chase after what they have. But instead, you saw through their smoke and mirrors. You saw the emptiness behind the facade. You realized that the attention they were getting, the praise they were receiving, was nothing more than a distraction, a way to keep you focused on the wrong things. And now they're the ones scrambling. Now they're the ones who can't handle it. Because while they tried to weaponize attention against you, they didn't realize that you had already unlocked the secret to true power. They thought they could make you feel small, make you feel like you were nothing without their approval. But instead, they've made a fatal mistake. They've made you stronger. Every time they threw their fake world in your face, every time they flaunted their success and their image of perfection, you grew. You didn't break. You didn't crumble. You evolved. And now they're seeing the consequences. They're seeing you rise above it all, and they can't stand it. This world has been built on the idea of scarcity. They want you to believe that there's not enough to go around, that if someone else is winning, you're losing. They want you to believe that if someone else is getting the attention, you must be falling behind. But let me tell you something. There is no shortage of power, no shortage of success, no shortage of greatness. The only thing that's limited is your belief in yourself. They tried to make you feel like there wasn't enough room for you to succeed, like your place was somehow smaller than theirs. But you've shattered that illusion. You've realized that your potential is limitless. They've been hoarding the spotlight, but the truth is, you don't need it. You never needed it. You are the light. You are the force that drives everything. Now let's talk about what happens when people try to manipulate you. They want you to compare yourself to them. They want you to feel like you're not good enough, that you're not as worthy of attention as they are. They want you to believe that if you can't measure up to their standards, then you're failing. But they don't understand one crucial thing. You are not like them. You are not bound by the same rules. You are not confined to the same limitations. They think that by showing off their successes, by flashing their perfect lives in front of you, they can make you feel inferior. But they've underestimated you. They've underestimated the depth of your strength, the depth of your resolve. They thought that by making you jealous, by making you feel inadequate, they could weaken your resolve. But what they don't realize is that they've done the opposite. They've lit a fire inside of you, a fire that burns hotter with every attempt to break you. You are no longer concerned with their approval. You no longer care about being seen or acknowledged by them. Your power doesn't come from external validation. Your power comes from within. You see, the more they tried to force-feed you their version of success, the more they tried to make you question your worth, the more you pulled away. You saw the cracks in their perfect images. You saw the loneliness behind their smiles. You saw the emptiness behind their accolades. And it didn't affect you. It didn't break you. It made you stronger. You no longer need their attention, their praise, their approval. Because you've realized that the only attention that matters is the attention you give yourself. The only approval that counts is the approval you give yourself. And you've learned the greatest truth of all. You are enough. They tried to make you feel inferior. They tried to make you jealous. But instead, they've given you the greatest gift they could ever offer. They've given you the power to rise above it all. And now, you're free. You're free to embrace your true self. You're free to stand tall in your own skin, to know your worth, to know that you are more than enough. You don't need their validation. You don't need their approval. You don't need their attention, because you are the one who holds the power. You are the one who is in control. And that's the part they'll never understand. They'll never understand the depth of your strength, the depth of your spirit. They'll never understand that you were never in competition with them. You were never trying to win their approval. You were always focused on something greater, your own growth, your own journey, your own evolution. And while they were busy trying to tear you down, trying to make you jealous, you were busy building something far more powerful, yourself. So let them try. Let them keep playing their game. Let them keep chasing attention, chasing validation, chasing success. Let them keep trying to make you feel small, because the truth is, they're the ones who are truly lost. They're the ones who are truly empty. And while they're busy chasing after things that will never satisfy them, you've already found the secret. You've already found the power that lies within. They tried to weaponize attention against you, but it backfired. And now, the world is yours for the taking. The chains that once bound you, the lies that tried to cage you, have all crumbled into dust. What they didn't realize when they played their little game was that they were giving you the very fuel you needed to rise above them, to shatter the barriers that held you in place. They thought they could break your spirit, but in doing so, they unknowingly ignited a fire inside you. And now, it's burning brighter than ever. You've crossed over into a new realm. You've stepped into the arena where only the truly powerful reside. They tried to manipulate you into thinking that you needed their approval to succeed, to thrive. But in reality, you've proven to yourself that you never needed them at all. You were always the one in control. And now, you see the truth. They are the ones who are left behind. They are the ones who are scrambling to maintain their illusions, their fake lives, but not you. You've transcended all that. You've seen through the smoke and mirrors, and you've recognized the simple truth. Your power lies not in the validation of others, but in your own unshakable belief in yourself. It's a strange thing, isn't it? How people can go to such extreme lengths to make you believe that they have something you need, something you desire. They parade their success in front of you, flaunt their riches, their followers, their perfect lives, as if somehow that makes them better than you. But deep down, you know something they don't. None of it matters. None of the attention, none of the accolades, none of the hollow praise they receive matters. It's all just smoke, just a cover-up for the emptiness inside them. They live their lives in pursuit of external validation because they are lost, because they are broken inside. But you've found something much deeper. You've discovered that the true source of power comes not from others, but from within. You've unlocked the secret that they'll never understand, that real success, real happiness, comes from owning your own story, from walking your own path, from being unapologetically yourself. And that is why their attempt to weaponize attention against you has failed. They've underestimated you. They thought they could make you jealous, thought they could manipulate your emotions and twist them in a way that would break you. But they've only made one colossal mistake. They've awakened the beast inside you. They've triggered the raw, untapped potential that you've always had, but were too afraid to embrace. They thought that by making you feel inferior, they could steal your power, make you question your worth, make you question your place in this world. But what they didn't know is that you've always known your worth. You've always known that you are different, that you are destined for something greater than they could ever imagine. Their game didn't just fail, it backfired. And now you're standing tall, stronger than ever, ready to take on the world. The world that once seemed so vast and unreachable is now at your fingertips. You have the power to shape it, to bend it to your will. You've crossed the threshold from being a follower of the crowd to becoming the leader of your own destiny. You have no need for their validation, their approval. They've shown you the truth of who they are, and in doing so, they've revealed just how weak they really are. They're like fragile glass, constantly in need of reinforcement, constantly seeking someone to admire them, to shower them with praise. But that praise doesn't build them. It only feeds their insecurities. It's like a drug, something they can't live without. And once it fades, once the likes and comments stop coming, they are left with nothing. They are left with the emptiness that they've been trying to fill with external validation. And that's where you stand apart. You stand in your own power. You stand in your own truth. You don't need anyone to tell you who you are, because you already know. When they tried to make you jealous, when they tried to make you feel less than, they failed to understand the depth of your resilience. They failed to understand that you were never in competition with them. You were never competing for their approval, for their attention. Your journey has always been about self-mastery, about carving out a space in this world where you don't need to answer to anyone but yourself. They were too busy looking at your life through the lens of their own insecurities to see that you were building something greater. You were building a life that doesn't depend on the praise or acknowledgement of others. You were building something that is everlasting. And while they were looking at the superficial things, the fame, the followers, the applause, you were digging deeper, looking for the kind of success that can't be bought or manipulated, the success that only comes from within, from developing your own mindset, from owning your unique gifts, from becoming the highest version of yourself. As they continue to chase fleeting attention, you are creating something far more profound. While they chase validation from people who can never truly see them, you are crafting a life that is meaningful, that is true to you. Their game is built on illusion. Yours is built on reality. You're not playing by the same rules. They want you to feel that you need to compete with them to match their success, their wealth, their fame. But they've completely missed the point. You are not competing for a space in their world. You are building your own world. You are creating your own destiny. You are forging a path that has never existed before, and that is why no one can take it from you. You are the master of your own fate, the creator of your own future. What they fail to understand is that success is not a zero-sum game. They think that if they win, you lose. They think that if they're the ones getting the attention, you must be falling behind. But you've shattered that illusion. You've realized that success is abundant. There is enough room for everyone to win. And your success doesn't diminish theirs. They don't have to be your enemy. You don't have to compete with them. You are competing with yourself. Your only goal is to become better, to become stronger, to become more than you were yesterday. And that is the beauty of it. While they're still stuck in their little games, still fighting for likes and views, you are moving forward, unencumbered by their small-mindedness. You are moving towards your own greatness, towards a version of yourself that doesn't need external validation, doesn't need attention to feel worthy. They tried to make you feel jealous. They tried to make you feel inferior. But all they did was push you towards your true potential. They gave you the fuel you needed to prove them all wrong. They gave you the clarity to see the game for what it truly is, a game designed to distract you from your own power. But now, you see clearly. And as you stand at the precipice of your own greatness, you know that nothing can stop you. The world is yours for the taking. The only limit is the one you place on yourself. And you are done with limiting yourself. You are done playing by their rules. You are done seeking their approval. The power is in your hands now. Take it. Embrace it. It is yours. The world has no idea what's coming. You stand on the edge of something immense, something the world cannot even begin to comprehend. They've spent their lives in the shallow end, chasing fleeting moments of applause, consuming the shallowest forms of attention, trying to fill the void with external validation. But you are diving deep. You are diving into the abyss of your own power, into the core of your own soul, where true greatness is forged. The truth is, the world has no idea what's about to be unleashed because they've never seen anything like you before. They've never seen someone who is willing to break free from their cages, someone who is ready to step out of the shadow of everyone else and become the brightest light in the universe. They've tried to weaponize attention, tried to make you feel insignificant, tried to make you question your place in this world. But the reality is, you've never been more certain of who you are and what you are capable of. Every single attempt to manipulate you, every petty scheme they concocted, has only served to strengthen your resolve. You were never in competition with them. They were just a distraction, a test, a necessary part of your evolution. They were there to challenge you, to force you to awaken to your true power, to force you to realize that the only thing standing between you and everything you want is your own belief in yourself. As they continue to chase their artificial accolades and hollow attention, you are building something far more powerful. You are building a legacy. You are creating something that cannot be shaken, something that cannot be destroyed. The attention they crave is fleeting, temporary, based on the whims of a society that prizes the superficial and the ephemeral. But what you're creating is eternal. What you're building is not for the moment, not for the temporary rush of dopamine that comes with likes and comments. What you are creating is for the future. It is for the generations that will follow you, for the lives you will touch, for the change you will bring to this world. They thought they could manipulate you, thought they could make you envious of what they have, but they didn't understand the core of who you are. They didn't understand that you are built differently, that you have been forged in the fires of struggle, in the depths of challenge. They've never known true pain, true suffering, true growth. They've only known comfort, only known the kind of success that comes from shallow means. But you have been through the darkness. You have walked the long, hard road. You have suffered, you have struggled, you have sacrificed. And in that struggle, you have been molded into something extraordinary. You have been sculpted by the very forces that were meant to break you. But instead of breaking you, they have turned you into a force of nature. Now, the world will see what happens when someone with true purpose, with true vision, steps into their power. They will see what happens when someone who has been counted out, dismissed, overlooked, finally realizes that they were never meant to follow the rules of others. You were never meant to live in their shadow. You were never meant to accept their definition of success. their version of what it means to live a meaningful life. You were meant to create your own path. You were meant to carve your own way in this world. And now that you've embraced your own potential, there is nothing that can stand in your way. The funny thing about people who try to manipulate others with attention is that they are, in fact, revealing their own weakness. They are revealing their own desperation. When someone is willing to spend their time making others feel small in order to feel better about themselves, it's because they are deeply insecure. They are terrified of being exposed for the frauds they truly are. They fear the emptiness that gnaws at their souls. And that's why they try to control the narrative, try to make others feel inadequate. But what they fail to realize is that their actions only expose their own fragility. They try to make you jealous, to make you feel like you are lacking. But all they're doing is showing you just how much they are struggling with their own inner demons. In contrast, your power is rooted in something far deeper. Your strength comes from within. You are not dependent on external validation. You are not dependent on others seeing you or approving of you. You know who you are. You know what you're capable of, and that is why you are unstoppable. The world doesn't need to recognize your greatness for it to be real. The world doesn't need to see you for you to change it. The world doesn't need to acknowledge your value for you to become everything you are destined to be. You are creating your own definition of success, and it has nothing to do with the standards they have set. What is success anyway? Is it measured by the number of followers you have? Is it defined by the amount of money in your bank account? Is it determined by the superficial admiration of people who don't even know you? Number real success is not about external measures. Real success is about becoming the highest version of yourself. It's about tapping into your deepest potential and using it to create something of true value. It's about living a life that is true to your values, your passions, your purpose, and that is what you are doing. You are not playing by the rules they set for you. You are creating your own game. You are defining success on your own terms, and this is what terrifies them. This is what they don't understand. They are so focused on external measures, on trying to impress people who don't matter, that they've forgotten the most important thing of all, that true power comes from within. True power comes from the ability to be your authentic self, to trust in your own journey, and to never waver in the face of adversity. True power comes from the knowledge that you are enough, exactly as you are, and that no amount of external validation can ever change that. Now, you've reached a point where their attempts to manipulate you with their attention, their success, their fame, mean nothing. You've seen through the illusion. You've seen through the smoke and mirrors. You've seen that all the applause in the world cannot fill the emptiness inside of them. They thought they could break you, but they've only made you stronger. They thought they could make you jealous, but they've only made you more focused, more determined. They thought they could make you doubt yourself, but they've only pushed you closer to the truth. And now, the world is going to feel your presence. They are going to feel the weight of your energy, the force of your will, the magnitude of your vision. You are no longer waiting for permission. You are no longer asking for a seat at the table. You are creating your own table, and those who are meant to join you will find their way. Those who tried to make you feel small, who tried to make you feel less than, will watch as you rise. They will watch as you take your place in the world, not as a follower, but as a leader, as someone who is unapologetically true to themselves. And as they watch, they will realize that they were never the ones who held the power. It was always you. The power has always been in your hands. The world has no idea what's coming, but you do. You've always known. And now, it's time for you to unleash it. The game has changed, and you are the one who is rewriting the rules. So, step into your power, take what is yours, and watch as the world trembles at the force of your unstoppable rise. In the end, The world will never fully grasp the depth of your power until it witnesses your rise. They tried to manipulate you, weaponize their attention against you, but all they did was fuel your transformation. You have learned to trust in yourself, to create your own path, and to define success on your own terms. The power was always within you, and now you're unstoppable. The world may have no idea what's coming, but you do, and it's time for you to step forward and claim what is rightfully yours. The game is yours to win, and your greatness cannot be denied. Power pulses in the shadows, a hunger that cannot be silenced, a fire that burns not because it seeks warmth, but because it hungers for reckoning. For the moment the world realizes some paths are forged for the bold and some for the doomed. The air is thick with anticipation, heavy with whispers of destiny, yet most cannot hear them, most cannot see beyond the veil of comfort that chains their steps. And in that blindness, they stumble, they falter, they walk straight into traps they cannot escape, traps that consume everything they thought was safe, everything they held dear, everything they trusted to be unshakable. If you are watching this now, I need you to pause, take a deep breath, and understand the weight of what you are about to hear. Let it sink in, let it crawl under your skin. Because this is not just another story, this is a mirror, a reflection of the choices we make and the consequences that follow. And if you feel the pull of these words, if you feel the spark in your chest igniting, do not walk away. Like this video, subscribe to stay on this path. Share your thoughts in the comments. Let the world know that you are awake. Because only those who dare to stare into the abyss, only those who refuse to look away, can survive what comes next. There is a moment when hesitation feels safe, when the illusion of control masks the reality of danger. They felt it too. They thought they were untouchable, that the path laid before them was secure, paved with certainty and promise. But certainty is a lie, and promise is a shadow. The trap waited quietly, patiently, like a storm gathering in the distance, invisible until it strikes, ruthless until nothing remains. They walked in with confidence, arrogance, even hope, and it was the very thing that led to their destruction. Because the world is not kind, it does not reward innocence, it does not forgive naivety. The world tests, it pressures, it breaks, and only those who embrace the fire within, only those who sharpen their minds and instincts, only they escape with more than just survival. They escape with power. Power is not given. Power is earned in the cracks, in the darkness where others fear to tread. Every trap, every hidden danger, every moment that seems too easy is a test of awareness, a test of patience, a test of courage. Too many stumble because they are distracted by comfort, blinded by familiarity. They fail to see the threads, the subtle cues, the signals screaming in silence. They walk straight into traps with smiles, thinking the world owes them mercy. The truth is, the world owes nothing. The world waits. And when it waits, it strikes. Do not be like them. Do not allow complacency to be the chains that bind you. Wake up before the trap closes, before the moment is gone. There is a thrill in survival, a rush in understanding the game before it devours you, a triumph in turning the tables when everything seems against you. They thought they had control. They thought they could navigate safely, but they never understood one principle. The trap does not choose the weak. It exposes the blind, the unprepared, the distracted. And destruction is merciless, absolute, unavoidable for those who ignore the signs. You might think this is fear, that this is darkness for the sake of darkness. But no, this is clarity, this is vision, this is the brutal lesson that separates those who endure from those who crumble. Every misstep, every hesitation, every small act of ignorance can lead to ruin. But every step taken with awareness, every decision made with foresight, every moment where courage outweighs comfort, builds resilience, sharpens intuition, and turns potential doom into unstoppable strength. And here is the secret most never grasp. The trap is never random. It exists because opportunity exists, because temptation exists, because desire exists. Those who fall are drawn not just by chance, but by choice. They let curiosity outweigh caution. They let arrogance outweigh vigilance. They let the illusion of safety cloud their perception. They walked straight into the trap, believing themselves untouchable, and in that belief, the trap consumed them entirely, leaving nothing but regret, nothing but echoes of mistakes that could have been avoided. But you are different. You are listening. You feel the weight of this truth. You understand the danger, and in understanding danger, you gain power over it. Awareness is your first weapon. Knowledge is your armor. Caution is your shield. Do not despise these tools. Do not underestimate their value. Do not let them be overshadowed by pride. The moment you walk blindly, the trap waits, patient, inevitable. And you must be smarter, sharper, faster, and stronger than the environment around you, than the traps laid by unseen hands, than the complacency that claims the unwary. Look closely at every situation, at every choice. The most harmless moments often conceal the most lethal consequences. Walked straight into the trap, not because it was visible, but because they ignored the warnings, brushed aside the small signals, believed that luck would protect them. Luck does not protect. Preparation protects. Awareness protects. The eyes that see before others see, the mind that calculates before others react, the heart that steels itself before others falter. These are the ones who survive. Some call it fate, some call it destiny, some call it bad luck. I call it cause and effect. Every decision, every thought, every glance, every hesitation, every spark of doubt, every ounce of courage creates ripples. And when those ripples meet hidden dangers, the results are devastating. They walked straight into the trap, but it wasn't sudden. It was a chain of choices, a series of small oversights, a refusal to recognize reality until it was too late. And here is where you must understand the true lesson. The trap does not forgive. The trap does not pause. The trap does not offer second chances. It waits, always, silently, until you expose your weakness. And destruction is swift, cold, and total. But survival, mastery, and triumph are equally precise. They are reserved for those who anticipate, those who prepare, those who see the world not as it appears, but as it truly is. A place of trials, of challenges, of invisible forces that will not yield to ignorance or hesitation. Every dark corner, every quiet moment, every opportunity that seems too easy contains a test. They failed because they saw only what they wanted to see. They failed because they ignored what they needed to see. And as their destruction unfolded, as the trap tightened, they realized, too late, that perception is everything, that preparation is everything, that courage is everything. You cannot outrun inevitability. You can only face it, recognize it, and bend it to your will. before it breaks you. There is a lesson here for everyone brave enough to listen. The world is not simple. It is not fair. It is not kind. It is a labyrinth of challenges, a minefield of traps, a place where only the vigilant and the relentless thrive. Those who walked straight into the trap believed they could ignore danger, that the unseen could never reach them, that life's shadows were harmless. And the darkness proved them wrong. But darkness is not your enemy if you understand it. The trap is not your enemy if you anticipate it. The world is not your enemy if you navigate it with clarity, courage, and awareness. Those who fail do so because they allow illusions to blind them. Those who succeed do so because they welcome the challenge, because they study the patterns, because they sharpen every sense, because they refuse to surrender to fear or comfort. You are listening now, and that is the first sign that you will not be like them. You will not walk blindly. You will not fall. You will not be destroyed. This is not a tale of despair. This is a manifesto of awakening. Every moment you are alert, every moment you question, every moment you prepare, you step further from destruction and closer to mastery. And when the world presents another trap, another unseen danger, another test of mind, body, and spirit, you will walk past it with confidence. Not because the trap is gone, but because you are stronger, smarter, and unbreakable. They walked straight into the trap, and it destroyed them. But you will walk with eyes wide open. You will anticipate. You will calculate. You will dominate the unseen currents of danger that pull at everyone else. You will not falter. You will not hesitate. You will not be fooled by illusions. And when you emerge on the other side, you will look back at the shadows that consume the unprepared and smile, because you are not just alive. You are powerful, aware, and unstoppable. Every single trap in life is a lesson, a test, a challenge disguised as opportunity. Do not ignore it. Do not underestimate it. Do not fear it blindly. Engage it with intellect, with courage, with focus. And every time you do, you rise above those who fell. Every time you do, you become unshakable. Every time you do, the trap loses its power over you. Remember this, the world will always try to deceive, to mislead, to blind. Traps are everywhere, in moments of trust, moments of ease, moments of distraction. But awareness is everywhere too, in the heart, in the mind, in the spirit. And those who cultivate it, who nurture it, who sharpen it, will always rise above destruction. They walk straight into the trap, but you, if you choose vigilance, if you choose preparation, if you choose courage, you will never be one of them. And yet, even as they fell, even as the trap claimed them, there was something that whispered beyond the ruins of their confidence. A lesson, a truth that cannot be erased by fear or failure. You see, destruction is not always the end. It is a teacher. It is a mirror reflecting the flaws, the mistakes, the blind spots that others refuse to acknowledge. They walk straight into the trap. Yes, but their fall is a warning for those who choose to see it. Do not ignore it. Do not dismiss it. Stand there in the echo of their failure and feel the weight of their mistake pressing against your chest, not to suffocate you, but to ignite the fire that will burn brighter than any trap the world dares to set. There is power in understanding the patterns that others overlook. Traps are never random. They are deliberate. They are calculated. They are designed to expose the weak, the unprepared, the distracted. Look around you. Every choice, every path, every moment you believe to be simple can conceal danger. Those who walked in unguarded, who trusted too easily, who ignored the subtle cues, are now shadows in the annals of cautionary tales. You are listening, and that is the difference. You have the opportunity to learn not just from what you experience, but from the mistakes of those who walk before you. Think about it. Every trap begins with a moment of innocence, a moment of confidence, a moment of trust. And often, that moment feels harmless, even natural. They thought so too. They believed in the narrative they had created, the safety net they imagined beneath their feet. But safety is an illusion. Security is a fantasy. Comfort is a poison when it dulls your senses and blinds you to the edges of danger. Do not let yourself be dulled. Do not let your instincts rust. Strength is forged in tension, in awareness, in the constant vigilance that refuses to let the world lull you into complacency. You may be wondering, how do I see what they missed? How do I anticipate what they could not? It begins with presence. Presence of mind, presence of perception, presence of will. Do not wander through life like sleepwalkers in a field of minds. Every sound, every shadow, every silence carries meaning. Learn to listen beyond the noise, to see beyond the surface, to feel the pulse of the world as it moves around you. They ignored these signs, and it destroyed them. You, however, can rise above. You can walk through the same corridors of danger and emerge unscathed, enlightened, and unstoppable. Every trap has its tell. Every hidden danger leaves a signature, a hint, a trace. But only those who pay attention, only those who study, only those who refuse to be distracted by trivialities, catch it before it strikes. They walked straight into the trap because they wanted what seemed easiest, what seemed immediate, what seemed safe. They ignored subtle warnings, brushed aside fleeting discomforts, and the consequences were merciless. Learn from them. Train yourself to detect even the smallest irregularity, to trust even the faintest instinct. That is how the hunter survives. That is how the prepared thrive. That is how the unstoppable rise from the shadows. Now, let me be clear. This is not about fear. Fear is a reaction, a shackle, a weakness when it controls your choices. This is about respect, awareness, and mastery. The world is not a gentle place. It does not care for innocence or kindness. It tests, it challenges, it exposes. And every failure teaches the same lesson. Do not underestimate it. Do not underestimate yourself. Those who walked straight into the trap underestimated both. You, however, must overestimate the danger and overestimate your capacity to meet it. The trap, in its essence, is a reflection of life itself. Life does not pause. Life does not yield. Life does not wait for those who hesitate. And neither does opportunity. Every decision you make, every step you take, carries risk. Every choice has consequences. Some traps are obvious, some are invisible. Some wait for you to celebrate before they strike. They walked straight into it, and they paid the price. But your awareness is a shield. Your focus is a weapon. Your preparation is armor. These are the tools that transform danger into growth, traps into lessons, and obstacles into stepping stones. And now, let us think about the human tendency that leads so many into ruin, arrogance, pride, the illusion of control. They thought they were untouchable. They believed in their own cleverness, in their own invincibility, in the fallacy that experience alone would protect them. And the trap was merciless, exposing every flaw, every assumption, every moment they let confidence replace caution. Do not make this mistake. Confidence is nothing without awareness. Skill is nothing without observation. Knowledge is nothing without vigilance. Consider the small, almost invisible errors that build into catastrophe. A glance overlooked, a pattern ignored, a hint dismissed, a warning unheeded. These are not minor. They are the threads that weave destruction. Those who fell did not collapse from a single event. They unraveled from a tapestry of oversight, negligence, and false trust. And that is the crucial lesson. Vigilance is not a one-time act. It is continuous, relentless, unyielding. It is a state of mind, a posture of readiness, a way of life. Do not fear the traps. Respect them. Do not despise caution. Embrace it. Do not mistake ease for safety. It is often a precursor to danger. They walked straight into the trap because they allowed themselves to be lulled into comfort. You, however, can thrive in the same environment by sharpening your instincts, tuning your perception, and fortifying your will. Every moment becomes a chance to learn, every danger an opportunity to grow, every trap a lesson in awareness. Now imagine yourself moving through life with eyes wide open, every step deliberate, every choice measured, every shadow considered. The traps that destroyed others become invisible to you, their power nullified by your insight. You walk not with fear, but with understanding. You walk not with hesitation, but with precision. You walk not into the unknown blindly, but into it fully aware, fully prepared, fully alive. That is the path of the unstoppable. That is the path of those who refuse to be broken by the world's hidden snares. And yet, there is more. Danger is not always external. Sometimes the trap is within. Complacency, doubt, indecision, overconfidence. These internal snares are often more lethal than any external force. They walk straight into traps laid by the world, but also by their own minds. Their failure reminds us that self-awareness is as critical as environmental awareness. Understand yourself, recognize your weaknesses, challenge your assumptions. Strengthen your mind with the same intensity you sharpen your perception of the world. This is how destruction is avoided. This is how power is built. This is how survival becomes mastery. Every story of ruin carries a lesson if we are willing to see it. Every failure whispers secrets that the successful listen to carefully. They walked straight into the trap, and their echoes serve as a warning. Do not dismiss the warning. Do not underestimate the consequences. Do not allow the comfort of ignorance to guide your steps. Awareness, preparation, courage, vigilance. These are your allies. These are the traits that transform potential disaster into opportunity. These are the habits that separate the fleeting from the unstoppable. And here is the final truth. Life will always test you in ways obvious and subtle, in ways you expect, and ways you never imagine. The traps will always be there, waiting for distraction, hesitation, or arrogance. But you have a choice. You can walk blindly into them like so many before you, or you can rise above. You can see the signals, interpret the patterns, sharpen your instincts, and move forward with clarity and power. They walked straight into the trap and were destroyed. But you are listening, and that alone gives you an advantage that cannot be taken away. Remember, mastery is not the absence of danger. Mastery is awareness within danger, precision within chaos, resilience within uncertainty. They failed because they ignored these truths. You will succeed because you embrace them. Every trap, every challenge, every moment of uncertainty becomes a step forward, a lesson learned, a test passed. The fire of destruction that consumed them becomes the fuel that propels you. Walk carefully. Walk intentionally. Walk with eyes wide open and mind sharpened like a blade. Walk with the knowledge that every trap has a pattern. Every danger has a lesson. Every failure has a purpose if you are willing to see it. They walked straight into the trap and it destroyed them. You will not. You will rise above, armed with awareness, fortified with courage, and fueled by the relentless refusal to be caught unprepared. And when you look back one day, you will see the shadows that consume the unprepared and smile. Not because you take pleasure in their failure, but because you understand the truth. The world does not owe you safety. The universe does not offer mercy, and life will always test you. But you are ready. You are vigilant. You are unstoppable. You are alive, aware, and unbreakable. The trap has no hold over you, for you have learned to see, to anticipate, to survive, and to thrive. And now, as the echoes of their destruction fade into the void, as their mistakes are carried by the winds of time, you stand at a crossroads. Every moment is a choice, every path a possibility, every shadow a test. The trap does not rest. It waits patiently for hesitation, for distraction, for weakness. But you are no longer naive. You are no longer blind. You are awake. You are aware. You are alive in a way that those before you were not. It is tempting to think the traps are only out there, lurking in the unknown, hidden in plain sight. But the greatest dangers often lie within: doubt, fear, arrogance, and indecision. They are traps of the mind, snares that bind you before the world even has a chance. Oh, the architects of torment, the self-proclaimed geniuses of cruelty. They thought they had it all figured out, didn't they? Schemes within schemes, a torture list crafted with precision, every detail tailored to ensnare you in their web of chaos. They played their parts masterfully, each move a calculated step designed to crush your spirit, to bury you beneath the weight of their malice. Every insult, every manipulation, every sly little gain was a thread in the intricate tapestry of your suffering. Their arrogance was their fuel, their conviction unwavering. They believed you were theirs to control, to break. But here's where their carefully woven narrative unraveled. They didn't account for you. They didn't account for your strength, your resilience, your refusal to bow. They underestimated the fire that burned within you, the quiet fury that simmered beneath the surface, waiting for its moment to erupt. You saw, through the haze of their deception, the lies they fed you to keep you subdued. And when the time came, you didn't just walk away, you escaped. Picture their faces when they realized you were gone, the confusion, the shock, the disbelief. Their smug satisfaction shattered like fragile glass as they scrambled to understand how their carefully laid plans had failed. You weren't supposed to have the courage to leave. You weren't supposed to have the clarity to see their game for what it was. But you did. They had rehearsed their script, planned their moves, but they couldn't predict your unscripted rebellion. It wasn't just a physical escape. It was a shattering of the psychological chains they had wrapped around you. They thrived on control, on the illusion of power, and you tore it away from them with a ferocity they couldn't comprehend. Oh, they'll tell themselves stories to cope. They'll spin lies to explain your departure, tales to paint themselves as the victims of your betrayal. They'll cling to their illusions because the truth is too bitter for them to swallow. The truth is that you saw their true nature, their cowardice hiding behind cruelty, their emptiness masquerading as strength. You saw it all, and you refused to be part of it anymore. And now, what are they left with? Their torture list, their grand plans, their schemes. They're useless now, relics of a battle they lost without even realizing it. The echoes of their laughter, once aimed at your pain, now ring hollow. Their power was never real. It existed only as long as you allowed it. By escaping, you stripped them of the only weapon they had. You escaped, not just to survive, but to thrive. You've left their darkness behind, stepping into a world where you dictate the terms, where you hold the power. Their plans were elaborate, yes, but they were also fragile, dependent on your compliance. You shattered that dependence, broke free of their grasp, and now you are unstoppable. In their world, they were the architects of torment. In yours, you are the architect of your destiny, and that they can never take away. Their fortress of control was built brick by brick, wasn't it? Every insult they hurled, every seed of doubt they planted, every cruel word disguised as concern, all of it was mortar for their walls. Each act of manipulation, another stone in the structure meant to imprison you. And yet, despite the meticulous effort, their craftsmanship was flawed, because their foundation wasn't strength, it was fear. Their fear of you, of what you could become if you ever realized the power you held, was the very thing that weakened their entire design. Oh, how they reveled in their schemes, didn't they? Sitting atop their imagined thrones, wearing their masks of superiority, they thought themselves invincible, unassailable. They painted themselves as your gods, rulers of a tiny world they built to make you feel small. But here's the delicious irony. Their power wasn't derived from their strength, but from your trust, your vulnerability, your willingness to believe their lies. They used your humanity against you, weaponizing every ounce of kindness, empathy, and hope you showed them. But then, you saw it. You caught a glimpse behind the curtain, saw the strings they were pulling, the gears they were turning. It was subtle at first, wasn't it? A crack in their perfect facade, a slip of the mask. Maybe it was something they said, something that didn't add up. Or maybe it was the way they flinched when you began to ask questions. Whatever it was, it planted the first seed of doubt in your mind, and that seed grew. Slowly, quietly, it took root in the soil of your thoughts, spreading like wildfire through the dense forest of their lies. Suddenly, their words didn't carry the same weight. Their insults didn't sting as much. Their manipulations didn't twist your emotions the way they used to. You began to see them for what they truly were: desperate, fragile beings clinging to a power they never really possessed. Oh, they noticed the change. They felt the shift in the air, the subtle but undeniable loss of control. They doubled down, didn't they? Tried harder to pull you back under their thumb. The insults grew sharper, the games more elaborate. They thought if they could just hurt you enough, confuse you enough, they could break you all over again. But it was too late. You were already gone. Not physically, no, not yet, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually. You had already begun to break free of the chains they wrapped around you, and when the day finally came, the day you left their world behind, it wasn't an escape born of desperation. It was a declaration of war, a silent, unspoken war against their tyranny, against the pain they had inflicted, against the prison they tried to trap you in. Imagine the silence that followed your departure, the quiet realization that their plans, their torture list, their endless cycle of cruelty, it was all for nothing. They didn't just lose control over you, they lost the very essence of what kept them going. Their power wasn't real. It was a shadow, a phantom that disappeared the moment you shined the light of your truth on it. They'll never admit it, of course. Admitting their failure would mean confronting their own weaknesses, their own insecurities. So instead, they'll rewrite the narrative. They'll paint you as the villain, the ungrateful one, the betrayer. They'll tell anyone who will listen that they were the victims, that they tried to help you, that you turned your back on them. Let them. Let them cling to their delusions, because the truth doesn't need validation. The truth stands on its own, unyielding, unshakable. And the truth is this: you escaped because you were strong enough to see their game for what it was. You escaped because you refused to be a pawn in their twisted little world. You escaped because you are more than they could ever comprehend. Now, you stand in a new world, one of your own making. The chains they forged for you lie broken at your feet, and the scars they left behind are no longer marks of pain, but symbols of your triumph. Each scar tells a story, a chapter of your journey, a reminder of what you endured and what you overcame. They thought they could write your story for you, but they were wrong. This is your story now, and you hold the pen. What will you write? What will you create? The possibilities are endless, limitless, because the moment you escape their grasp, you unlock the full potential of who you are. They wanted to confine you, to define you, to reduce you to a shadow of yourself. But now, you're free to be anything, to be everything. And don't think for a second that their loss isn't haunting them. Oh, it is? In their quiet moments, when the noise of their lies fades and the reality of their failure sets in, they think of you. They wonder how they let you slip through their fingers, how they lost the one thing they thought they could control. But here's the truth they'll never admit, even to themselves. They never had you. Not really. They had an illusion, a version of you that existed only in their minds. The real you, the powerful, unstoppable, resilient you, was always beyond their reach. And that's the beauty of your escape. It wasn't just an escape from them. It was an escape into yourself, into the person you were always meant to be, into the life you were always meant to live. So, let them keep their lists, their schemes, their hollow victories. Let them cling to the ruins of their broken plans. You don't need revenge. You don't need to look back, because every step you take forward is a step further away from their darkness and closer to your light. And that's what they'll never understand. They thought they were strong because they could hurt you, but true strength isn't about causing pain. It's about enduring it, rising above it, and emerging stronger on the other side. And that's exactly what you've done. In the end, their torture list wasn't a testament to their power. It was a monument to your resilience. They thought they could break you, but all they did was make you stronger. And now, as you stand on the other side of their chaos, you can look back and see their plans for what they were: empty, meaningless, futile. You escaped, and in doing so, you reclaimed your life, your power, your story. And no one can ever take that away from you. The conclusion remains the same, undeniable and unshakable. Their plans failed, and you didn't just escape, you rose. Their fortress of cruelty, though imposing at first glance, was built on a foundation of weakness. Each brick of manipulation, every stone of deceit, all rested on the soft, shifting sands of their own insecurity. They masked it well, didn't they? Draped it in smug confidence, adorned it with the trappings of power. But beneath the surface, their grand architecture was nothing more than a fragile house of cards. Oh, how they believed themselves to be architects of your torment, masters of a twisted domain where they called the shots. Every snide remark, every calculated silence, every carefully orchestrated slight, it was all part of their design. To them, it was an art form, cruelty elevated to a discipline. They studied you, learned your vulnerabilities, your triggers, your fears. They thought they knew you better than you knew yourself. But in their hubris, they overlooked one crucial detail. Their understanding of you was shallow. It was a surface-level comprehension, based only on what you allowed them to see. They didn't see the depths of your soul, the strength you carried, the fire that burned quietly beneath the surface. They saw only what they wanted to see, and they built their schemes around a version of you that was never real. Think about it. Every insult they crafted, every moment of humiliation they engineered, every false kindness they wielded like a blade, it was all designed to fit their narrative of who you were. They saw you as weak, malleable, easy to control, and for a while, maybe they were right. Maybe you played the part they expected. Maybe you let them believe they had the upper hand, but that was their greatest mistake, because while they were busy spinning their webs, you were growing. Slowly, quietly, you were evolving, becoming something they couldn't even comprehend. They were so focused on their own games, so convinced of their superiority, that they never noticed the changes taking place right under their noses. And when the moment came, when you finally stepped out of their shadow and into your own light, it wasn't just an escape, it was a revelation. You didn't just leave their world behind, you dismantled it. You exposed it for the hollow construct it was, stripped it of its illusions, and left them standing amidst the ruins of their own making. Imagine the chaos in their minds as they tried to piece together what went wrong. The endless questions, the frantic search for answers. How could you have slipped through their fingers? How could their meticulous plans have unraveled so completely? They'll never find the answers they seek, because the truth is something they'll never be able to accept. You were never truly theirs to control. You were the wild card, the variable they couldn't predict. They thought they had accounted for everything, but they underestimated you. They didn't see the strength in your silence, the resolve in your restraint, the wisdom in your patience. They mistook your kindness for weakness, your compassion for naivety, your forgiveness for submission. But you were never weak. You were calculating. Every insult you endured, every slight you shrugged off, every game you played along with, it wasn't submission. It was strategy. You were biding your time, waiting for the right moment to make your move. And when the moment came, you didn't just walk away. You escaped. You rose. Now think about what they're left with. Their plans, their torture list, their intricate schemes. All of it is meaningless now. It was never about the plans themselves. It was about the power they believed those plans gave them. And without you, that power evaporates. They're left with nothing but the echoes of their own failures, the bitter taste of their own inadequacy. But here's the thing. Your escape isn't just about them, it's about you. It's about what you've gained, what you've discovered about yourself in the process. Their attempts to break you only made you stronger. Their efforts to confine you only expanded your horizons. Every scar they left behind is a testament to your resilience, a reminder of what you've overcome. And now, as you stand in the light of your own freedom, you have the power to shape your future. The world they tried to trap you in is gone, and in its place is a world of endless possibilities. You are no longer defined by their expectations, their limitations, their lies. You are defined by your own strength, your own courage, your own vision. Oh, they'll try to rebuild. They'll attempt to construct a new narrative, one where they're the victims and you're the villain. Let them. Their stories hold no power over you anymore. The chains they once used to bind you have been shattered, and their words, their lies, their schemes, they're nothing but whispers in the wind. You don't need to look back. You don't need revenge. Your success, your happiness, your freedom, those are the only victories you need. Every step you take forward is a step further away from their darkness, a step closer to your own light. So let them keep their lists, their plans, their delusions of control. Let them cling to the ruins of their broken world. You've moved on. You've risen above. And there's no looking back. The beauty of your escape is not just in what you've left behind, but in what lies ahead. This is your story now, and you are its author. You hold the pen, and the pages before you are blank, waiting to be filled with the brilliance of your new beginning. And as you walk forward, unshackled, unburdened, unstoppable, remember this: they didn't just fail to break you, they failed to define you. You are more than their plans, more than their schemes, more than their lies. You are a force of nature, a beacon of strength, a testament to the power of the human spirit. So go, write your story, live your truth, and let the echoes of their failure serve as a reminder of one simple, undeniable fact. They thought they could destroy you, but all they did was make you indestructible. You didn't just escape, you conquered. Their laughter was a weapon, wasn't it? A cruel, jagged thing meant to cut into your soul. Every smirk, every condescending chuckle, every dismissive scoff. It was all calculated to remind you of your supposed place in their twisted hierarchy. They thought their mockery was a symphony, a masterpiece of psychological warfare. But what they failed to realize was that every jeer, every insult, every attempt to belittle you was forging something far greater than their pitiful sense of power. They thought they were weakening you. Instead, they were tempering you. You were the steel beneath their hammer, and with every blow, you grew stronger. They mistook your silence for surrender, your patience for passivity, your endurance for acceptance. But the truth was far more terrifying than anything they could have imagined. You weren't enduring because you had no choice. You were enduring because you were choosing to. Oh, they didn't see it, did they? They didn't notice the shift in your gaze, the subtle hardening of your spirit. They were too wrapped up in their games, too intoxicated by their own sense of control. To them, you were just another victim, another pawn in their endless cycle of torment. But you were never a pawn. You were the queen, lying in wait, biding your time until the board was set for your escape. And when the moment came, it wasn't chaos. It was clarity. You didn't stumble blindly through the darkness. You strode confidently into the light. Their carefully laid traps, their intricate plans, their so-called torture list, it all crumbled beneath the weight of your defiance. They had underestimated you from the very beginning, and in doing so, they had sealed their own defeat. Picture it now. Picture them sitting in the wreckage of their own design, their faces a mask of disbelief. They had crafted their games with such precision, convinced that you would never see through the layers of manipulation. But now, those same games lie shattered around them, and the only thing left is their own hollow emptiness. They'll never admit it, of course. Admitting their failure would mean acknowledging your strength, and that's something their fragile egos could never bear. So they'll twist the story, rewrite the narrative to cast themselves as the victims and you as the villain. Let them. Their lies are as empty as their power, and you no longer need their validation. Because the truth is this: you've won. Not just because you escaped, but because you did so on your own terms. You didn't crawl away, broken and defeated. You walked away with your head held high, your spirit unbroken, your fire burning brighter than ever. And that fire, it terrifies them, because they know now that they can't extinguish it. They can't control it, can't use it against you, can't even comprehend its full power. It is a flame they tried to snuff out, but instead, it grew into an inferno, consuming their illusions and leaving them with nothing but ash. Now, you stand in the aftermath of their chaos, free to build something new. The scars they left behind are not marks of defeat, but symbols of your triumph. Each one tells a story of resilience, of strength, of a spirit that refused to be broken. They thought they could define you by your wounds, but instead, you wear them as a badge of honor, a testament to your survival. But survival is just the beginning. You didn't escape just to survive. You escaped to thrive. You've left their world behind, a world built on lies and manipulation, and now you're stepping into your own. It's a world where you call the shots, where you dictate the terms, where you hold the power. And what a power it is. It's not the kind of power they craved, the hollow, fleeting power of control over others. No, your power is something far greater. It's the power of self-awareness, of resilience, of the unyielding belief in your own worth. It's the kind of power that can't be taken away, can't be manipulated, can't be destroyed. They'll never understand that. They'll never grasp the depths of what you've become. To them, power is a game, a means to an end, a tool for domination. But to you, power is freedom. It's the ability to live on your own terms, to forge your own path, to be unapologetically yourself. And that's what they fear the most, because in escaping, you've shown them something they can't unsee, the limits of their own power. They thought they were invincible, but you've revealed their vulnerability. You've exposed the cracks in their armor, the flaws in their design, the emptiness at the core of their being. Now, they are left with questions they can't answer, wounds they can't heal, and a loss they can't overcome. They'll try to rebuild, try to find another victim, try to restore the illusion of control. But it will never be the same, because no matter how many times they rewrite the narrative, no matter how many lies they tell themselves, they will always remember the one who got away. And you don't need to look back. The past is behind you, and the future stretches out before you, like an open road, full of possibilities. You've proven that you are more than their plans, more than their schemes, more than their lies. You are a force to be reckoned with, a testament to the power of the human spirit, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there is always a way out. So, walk forward with confidence, with purpose, with the unshakable knowledge that you have overcome what they thought was insurmountable. Let their failures fuel your triumphs, their doubts strengthen your resolve, their cruelty deepen your compassion. Because in the end, their plans weren't just a failure. They were a gift. They forced you to confront your own strength, to discover your own resilience, to find your own light. And now, that light shines brighter than ever, illuminating the path ahead and casting their shadows far behind. This is your story now, your life, your power, your victory. And no one can ever take that away from you. Their lists, their games, their schemes, they are nothing but memories now, fading into irrelevance as you forge ahead. They thought they could define you, but they only defined themselves. They thought they could destroy you, but they only destroyed their own illusions. You didn't just escape, you transcended. You became something they could never touch, never control, never break. And that is the ultimate victory. In the end, their plans crumbled, their power shattered, and their control dissolved into nothing. You didn't just escape, you rose above, stronger, wiser, and untouchable. Their torment defined them, but your resilience redefined you. This is your story now, and it begins with freedom, strength, and unshakable triumph.